welcome all of you to this webinar series New Ways Horticulture. Today's topic will be advances in vertical farming. We have got partners to organize this. I'm thankful to them. One of them, Indian Nurseryman Association. The second one, Indian Society for Vegetable Sciences. And third one, the Progressive Horticulture, the Society for Research and Development in Uttarakhand. I'm thankful to all of them. This webinar series will be now advances on vertical farming. I just straightway go to the presentation. Yes, vertical farming is a buzzword these days. And in this context of COVID-19 or the pandemic with which the entire world is in trouble, we, the farmers, agriculture scientists, nurserymen, and all those who are concerned with the food, they are worried, particularly those who are dealing with fresh food supply, which is in jeopardy these days. Because of the obvious reason, the distances, long distances from where the food has to come to the city, the roads are closed, all communication means are just in a problem. Anyway, but there is a need to bring fresh food, as you all know, easier, faster, and it should reach to the consumer as early as possible so that the all good qualities, जो अच्छे गुण हैं उसके फ्रेश फूड के, वो कंज्यूमर को मिल सके. मेरे विचार से आप माइंड नहीं करेंगे यदि मैं थोड़ा मिक्स बोलूं, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है जो रजिस्टर हुआ है उसमें बहुत सारे हमारे साथी ऐसे हैं जिनको इंग्लिश में शायद थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो. तो प्रेजेंटेशन क्योंकि इंग्लिश में है, तो इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग या इंग्लिश नोइंग पीपल आर एट एडवांटेज. They can read it, but those who are listening, they will, if they know Hindi well, I speak only the spoken Hindi, not a difficult one. So I will continue with that. So this COVID has made everybody worried. So the vertical farming topic also I thought of is most relevant in this pandemic. This vertical farming, earlier we were thinking about production of food globally, and we used to think that where is the requirement of the particular commodity, we should produce and push it there, and things were easier. Government also supported with that. But COVID-19 have changed the scenario, the 360-degree turnover. And we have landed where we were, the local one. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Modi ji, also has given a call during the third lockdown period this month. Local production or concentrate on local, linked with the Atmanirbharta. And he requested all of us to be vocal about it. Means we should talk about it, not only work for that. It's a good one. I add one more thing here, that let us focus on it and let us be focal on localization of farming of fresh food. The localization of farming food, why? There are regions, उसके कुछ कारण हैं. क्योंकि क्लाइमेट चेंज एक फैक्टर है, दूसरे जो हमारा कल्टीवेबल लैंड है, आप सब लोग एग्री करेंगे, वो दिन बर दिन कम होता जा रहा है. और हम लोग अभी तक ब्लेम करते रहे हैं कि वो अर्बनाइजेशन की वजह से है। और जहाँ-जहाँ भी फ्रेश फूड, खास करके वेजिटेबल वगैरह जहाँ पैदा होती है, वो वहाँ पर नई एस्टेट आ जाती है, बिल्डिंग, मल्टी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग खड़ी हो जाती है, तो लैंड भी कम हो जाता है और बहुत सारी दिक्कतें हैं। लेकिन उसके साथ-साथ हमारी पॉपुलेशन भी बढ़ रही है और प्री COVID-19 pandemic, people were moving towards urban, and we were thinking that in coming years, more than 60% population will be in cities or urban areas. But I think now there is a question mark. But increase in the population is there, or things like that. About the vertical farming, uh, what we do, interesting thing, we avoid not only soil but the sun also. We use artificial lights, etc. And the technology used for this vertical farming, by and large, though I will be coming to the simple technologies also, where one can do without that also. I will discuss a little later. But the technologies which are generally being used throughout the world, पूरे संसार में, वो है हाइड्रोपोनिक्स, aeroponics and aquaponics. I will little later tell you what is hydroponic, what is aeroponic and aquaponic, all that. और इसके बिना अभी मैंने अपने बोला कि सन की भी जरूरत नहीं है, सनलाइट की भी जरूरत नहीं है, उसका रिप्लेसमेंट है एलईडीज, जो आर्टिफिशियल लाइट होती हैं और ग्रो लाइट के नाम से मशहूर है। और फिर आजकल जो खेती बाड़ी है उसमें इतना आसान नहीं रह गया है, जो हम पुराने जमाने में या पहले क्या करते थे, सीधे हल चला दिया और बीज बो दिया और फसल काट ली। नहीं, अब सब कुछ पहले हमको डाटा चाहिए, उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए। तो इस तरह का जो भी आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी है, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी के जितने भी टूल्स हैं, या आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का, या जो भी कुछ है आजकल, रोबोटिक्स सब कुछ वो चाहिए, उसका मिश्रण होकर के ये चलता है। लेकिन जरूरी नहीं कि सब चाहिए, इनमें से जहाँ-जहाँ जो कोई अफोर्ड कर सकता है, जितनी सुविधा चाहिए उसके मुताबिक कर सकता है। तो सेंसर्स का इस्तेमाल होता है, ऑटोमेशन का होता है। ऑटोमेशन का मतलब अपने आप प्रेस बटन या टच स्क्रीन से काम हो जाता है। फिर मैकेनाइजेशन टूल चाहिए होते हैं और टेक्निक्स होती हैं। जैसा कि मैंने अभी बताया था आपको कि जो ऑर्नामेंटल हॉर्टिकल्चर है या वर्टिकल गार्डनिंग है, मैं थोड़ा बाद में आपको या अगले सेमिनार में आपको बताएंगे। लेकिन इसके अंदर जो आप लोग सड़कों पर देखते होंगे या दूसरी जगह देखते होंगे, मकानों की दीवारों पर देखते होंगे, ग्रीन वॉल, लिविंग वॉल, बायो वॉल, स्मार्ट वॉल, ये सब वर्टिकल फार्मिंग या वर्टिकल गार्डनिंग के अंदर आते हैं। और उनमें इतना सोफिस्टिकेशन नहीं होता जितना कि मैं आपको बताने जा रहा हूँ, सोफिस्टिकेशन। दूसरे इसके अलावा, फूड के अलावा फोडर भी, जैसे मैंने कहा था शुरू में, फोडर भी पैदा होता है और हम उसको ग्रीन फोडर प्रोडक्शन कहते हैं, हाइड्रोपोनिक की उससे करता है। ये एक एजेंसी है आयुर्वेद इंडिया में, जो कि इसको लार्ज स्केल पर कर रही है और दूसरी जगह भी हो रहे हैं। जो मेरे को नॉलेज है उसके बारे में मैं आपसे शेयर कर रहा हूँ। दूसरे जो धान, पैडी की नर्सरी वगैरह है, ये भी हाइड्रोपोनिक के उससे माध्यम से पैदा करके दी जा रही हैं या दी जा सकती हैं। और जो सबसे एडवांस है, मैंने आपको बोला था, ग्राउंड लेवल से लेकर के टॉप मोस्ट जो आज की लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी है, सब इसमें एप्लीकेबल होता है। जो लेटेस्ट है, इट इज आइडियल फॉर मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मिंग, and that molecular farming, those scientists who are attending it, they understand it, the monoclonal antibody multiplication. आज जो कोविड-19 चल रहा है, उसका जो एंटीबॉडी वगैरह है, उसका भी एक्सपेरिमेंट चल रहे हैं टोबैको के अंदर, उसको मल्टीप्लाई करने के लिए। और वो सब कुछ पॉसिबल होगा वर्टिकल फार्मिंग से या वर्टिकल मेथड ऑफ कल्टीवेशन। वर्टिकल फार्मिंग में जो अभी तक मैं आपको बता रहा था, इनको सबको एक जगह रख करके हम कह सकते हैं कि इसके एडवांटेज क्या होते हैं। इसके एडवांटेज होते हैं कि हमको लेबर की कम जरूरत पड़ती है, पानी की कम जरूरत पड़ता है, और जो प्रोड्यूस पैदा होती है उसको बहुत ज़्यादा वॉशिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं होती, क्योंकि सब क्लोज उस सिस्टम में होता है, धूल वगैरह का उतना वो चक्कर नहीं होता है। और क्योंकि जहाँ पर कंजम्पशन होता है वहीं उसी के साथ इनका प्रोडक्शन भी होता है, तो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट में भी हमको बचत होती है। और मैं आपको बताऊंगा इसमें बहुत सारी फसलें या सब्जियां पैदा की जा सकती हैं, और ये पूरा जैसे मैं बोल रहा था बहुत सारी टेक्नोलॉजी का इसमें समाधान है। ये फुल्ली इंटीग्रेटेड टेक्नोलॉजी है, और इसमें हम क्या चाहते हैं, पौधे को क्या चाहिए, उसके चारों तरफ का जो एटमॉस्फेयर है जिसमें वो अच्छी तरह से फल फूल सकता है वो चाहिए। तो उसके लिए आइडियल क्लाइमेट वहाँ पर करते हैं, जिसके लिए ऑप्टिमम एयर, न्यूट्रिएंट, वाटर, लाइट की क्वालिटी यदि सन नहीं है तो, और दूसरी इनपुट जो हमारे मैन्योर वगैरह होते हैं, माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट होते हैं और दूसरे न्यूट्रिएंट होते हैं। तो इन सब को मिला करके हमको थोड़े से एरिया में ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस मिलता है, और इससे हमको हेल्दी प्रोड्यूस मिलती है। तो जब हेल्दी प्रोड्यूस हमको मिलती है तो क्यों नहीं इसको अपनाया जाए लार्ज स्केल पर। ये वर्टिकल फार्मिंग जो है ना, जैसे अभी मैंने आपको बोला, क्लाइमेट चेंज का इस पे कोई असर नहीं होता। मैं एक एग्जांपल भी आपको दूंगा, बड़ा ग्लेयरिंग एग्जांपल है वो, थोड़ी देर में अभी आपको बताता हूँ। और फॉरवर्ड, हाँ, तो मैं आपको बताऊंगा, लेकिन इसकी जो लिमिटेशन है, कुछ लिमिटेशन भी होंगी। अब आप जानते हैं कोई भी नई चीज आए तो उसके लिए रेजिस्टेंस होती है, सबको शक होता है, और फिर हमारे किसानों की या जो भी खेती बाड़ी करते हैं उनका ये होता है, यार कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि हमारा जो खर्चा है वो भी ना निकले और वो बेकारी हो जाए। तो उसको हम बोलते हैं सोशल रेजिस्टेंस। तो सोशल रेजिस्टेंस की वजह से भी थोड़ा इसका अभी लिमिटेशन अभी। और ग्रोइंग फूड इंडोर्स, आप जानते हैं थोड़ा एनर्जी का तो जरूरत पड़ेगा, कुछ रिसोर्स भी चाहिएंगे, थोड़ा टाइम भी देना पड़ेगा। और इट इज दूसरी जो पद्धति है या दूसरे जो तरीके हैं पैदा करने के फूड, उससे थोड़ा ये एक्सपेंसिव है। वर्टिकल ग्रीन हाउस इज कॉस्टलियर देन द नॉर्मल ग्रीन हाउस। मैं रिपीट करता हूँ, वर्टिकल ग्रीन हाउस इज कॉस्टलियर देन नॉर्मल ग्रीन हाउस। क्यों? ग्रीन हाउस में सिर्फ एक लेयर होता है प्रोडक्शन का, इसमें मल्टी लेयर होता है, तो नेचुरली एक्सपेंसिव होगा। और ये जो बहुत ही प्राइम लोकेशन होती हैं अर्बन एरियाज में, दिल्ली का एग्जांपल ले लीजिए, कनॉट प्लेस। यदि हम कनॉट प्लेस में एक प्लांट फूड फैक्ट्री लगाएं या वर्टिकल फार्मिंग करें, तो वो लैंड का वैल्यू है ना, कुछ किए वहां पर उतना उससे रिटर्न मिल जाता है, तो फिर कुछ करके रिटर्न लेना कोई मतलब नहीं होता। तो ऐसी जगह में ये नहीं किया जा सकता है। वो ऐसी जगह किया जा सकता है जहां पर लैंड की वैल्यू बहुत ही प्रोहिबिटिव ना हो। अब गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया में यदि आप बॉम्बे में वर्टिकल फार्म लगाएंगे तो वो बहुत एक्सपेंसिव होगा, लेकिन देयर आर वेज एंड मीन्स वो थोड़ा लगाने के, उसका भी है जो मैं थोड़ा अभी बाद में आपको बताऊंगा। और प्रोड्यूस जो है ना, थोड़ी सी कॉस्टली हो जाती है इन कंपेरिजन टू जो ओपन फील्ड में होती है। और जो इससे जो वेस्ट निकलता है उसको रिसाइकलिंग का अभी उतना अच्छा नहीं हुआ है। और ऑर्गेनिक सर्टिफिकेशन, दो इट इज ऑर्गेनिक, अर्लियर it was at international level considered that the hydroponic is organic, but now I think there is a different thinking on that. But here we are using the inorganic inputs in small quantity, and it is not taking toll anywhere. While in traditional farming, the inorganic input has taken toll on the soil. That is why the organic farming, as far as I understand, is meant for improving the health of the soil. Anyway, so produce is very good in this, and untimely see farming or किसान जो खेती करता है, there is no pride into it, unfortunately. But if you are adopting vertical farming or greenhouse farming, you have got the different feeling. Now, ये फार्मिंग जैसे मैंने आपको बोला था, ये दो तरह हो सकता है। इंडोर, जहाँ पर इंटेंसिव इनपुट, और जो हमारा तरीका है पैदा करने का ओपन में, वो भी। मैं दोनों एक एक करके आपको बताता हूँ। इंडोर में क्लाइमेट और सभी पैरामीटर कंट्रोल होते हैं ऑलमोस्ट। जो आउटडोर है उसमें हम सीजन का एडवांटेज लेते हैं और बाकी जो वर्टिकल फार्मिंग का या वर्टिकल गार्डनिंग का वो होता है सिस्टम्स, वो उनको उसमें फिट कर देते हैं, लेकिन वो सिर्फ सीजनल का ही चलेगा, नॉन सीजनल नहीं हो सकता। दूसरे वाले में इंडोर में आपको जैसे मैंने शुरू में बोला 365 days you can have it in indoor farming. So this indoor farming again, it is written here that artificially control temperature, light, humidity, nutrient, blah blah blah. सब कुछ उसमें चाहिए, लेकिन सबसे अच्छी चीज ये है कि स्पेस बहुत कम चाहिए। देन प्रोडक्शन मेथड, जैसे ही मैंने शुरू में बोला, हाइड्रोपोनिक, एरोपोनिक, एक्वापोनिक। मैं आपसे फिर प्रॉमिस करता हूं कि इसके बारे में थोड़ा मैं बाद में बताऊंगा, लेकिन इसके लिए जो सिस्टम है, तरीके हैं, वो अलग अलग हैं। एक होता है वेजिटेबल टावर। टावर का मतलब सीधे एक ट्यूब सा खड़ा है और उसके चारों तरफ को आपको सब्जियां पैदा हो रही हैं। दूसरा होता है मॉड्यूलर कंटेनर सिस्टम। अभी आपको फोटो दिखाते हैं मॉड्यूलर कंटेनर सिस्टम की, जो कंटेनर गार्डनिंग भी वो कहलाता है। सब कुछ कंट्रोल्ड कंडीशन, ऑटोमेशन, एंड यू कैन टेक द कंटेनर wherever you want or wherever you have planted them. Then the cubic production system, all these I'm going to show you a little later. I started this one. Say the container one which I was talking about, luckily it is here. Say Israel. This is from wall to fork. सब्जियों की दीवार खड़ी हुई है और इससे सीधे आप अपने डाइनिंग टेबल पर या किचन और स्टेट ले जा सकते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ पर सब कुछ कंट्रोल्ड है, सब कुछ ऑटोमेशन है, और जो टेक्नोलॉजी मैंने शुरू में आपको बताई थी, इंक्लूडिंग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस एंड इन सम केसेस रोबोटिक आल्सो, वो सब कुछ यूज होती है। सो दिस इज द लेटेस्ट, द कंटेनर फार्मिंग आर द एडवांसमेंट, बट देयर आर something more. I will come little later. But in a simple way, the contrast, I have shown here the roof garden. If you have got a roof, on that you can have a structure and have the indoor gardening. Then indoor, what I am talking about, you see the building. This building is nothing but a field, multi-story field, multi-story खेत। खेत हैं एक के ऊपर एक, और इसमें से एक फ्लोर का मैं आपको सीन बराबर में ये दिखाया है जहाँ पर खेती हो रही है, और इस तरह के बहुत सारे हैं। बाहर से आपको नहीं मालूम होगा कि यहाँ खेती हो रही है, जैसे और दूसरी फैक्ट्री वगैरह होती हैं, वो उस तरह का है। एटमॉस्फेयर भी अच्छा है। देन ये शिकागो का सीन था। आगे दूसरा ये आपको देखने को मिलेगा जापान का। जापान बहुत एडवांस्ड है। इन लोगों ने सभी कुछ उसमें ऑटोमेशन, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस सब कुछ लगा दिया, एंड दे रिवोल्यूशनाइज दिस एंटायर एग्रीकल्चर industry, and they can have the produce at will, and you can read it in Urban Agri News of 15 November 1929. All details are given. The time is constrained, plus some technology constraint here is with me. I'm not able to cover all that, so I will try to just expose you whatever I'm able to expose here. Because of the limitations, I may be excused for that. Anyway, then it's not only the closed building or multi-floor. Here you see 5-story, 2-acre vertical. The word I have used here, aquaponic. You know, aquaponic, let me little explain here. Aquaculture, what we call the fish production. हाँ, मछली उत्पादन जी। मछली उत्पादन के साथ साथ उसी इनपुट से, और कोई एक्स्ट्रा इनपुट नहीं चाहिए, उसी इनपुट से आप सब्जियां भी पैदा कर सकते हैं या फूल पैदा कर सकते हैं। फिश, वेजिटेबल एंड अदर क्रॉप्स, ये 5-story बिल्डिंग है, इसमें चल रहा है। नेक्स्ट। नाउ आई विल एक्सप्लेन व्हाट आई वाज प्रोमिसिंग थ्रू आउट, हाइड्रोपोनिक। What is hydroponic? Hydroponic, something you must have heard, or most of you must have heard about the soil-less cultivation. Soil-less cultivation means cultivation in medium or media other than soil. Why not soil? Because soil we have already overused, and in some cases it's spoiled also. That is why. So we have switched on to the soil-less thing. And in that soil-less, the coco peat, you must be knowing, is the most popular medium in this country. In other country, there are a number of them. And in our country also, it is picking up. They are there. So in this hydroponic, the medium is only water, जो हम इरिगेशन के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं. बाकी और जरूरत नहीं है. प्लांट को सपोर्ट देने के लिए हम लोग पीट या कोई भी दूसरा सपोर्टिंग इनर्ट मैटर इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जिससे कि प्लांट सीधा रहे. तो हाइड्रोपोनिक में न्यूट्रिएंट जब मैं कहता हूं, पौधे की खुराक के लिए एनपीके और बाकी माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट जितने भी होते हैं, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द क्रॉप एंड वैरायटी, hybrid or whatever, they are made available, and there are different methods for that hydroponic also. The most popular one is nutrient film technique, which I think those who come across with the vertical farming or hydroponic, they will be knowing it or would know it. Then another technology is aeroponic. Aeroponic is nothing but same thing as of hydroponic. Hydroponic, we are using water, flowing water. But in aeroponic, we are spraying the thing. That spray may be a mist or fog. आप समझते हैं ना, मिस्ट और फोग. किसी तरह से धुंध या जो भी है आप स्प्रिंकल करते हैं पानी, लेकिन वो खाली पानी नहीं है, उसमें न्यूट्रिएंट है जो कि पौधे को चाहिए. और वो स्प्रे सिर्फ होते हैं रूट के ऊपर, ओनली रूट्स के ऊपर स्प्रे करते हैं और प्लांट खूब दौड़ता है, चलता है, अच्छा है. और ये टेक्नोलॉजी पिकअप कर रही है. इसके बेनिफिट बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, और मेजर बेनिफिट यही हुआ हाइड्रोपोनिक के कंपैरिजन में कि पानी का रिक्वायरमेंट और भी कम हो गया. जो तीसरा, जिसके बारे में एक्वापोनिक्स मैंने थोड़ा सा आपको बताया, ये इंटीग्रेटेड एक्वाकल्चर है, फिश फार्मिंग एंड दूसरी क्रॉप जो भी होते हैं, और ये सिम्बायोसिस के उस पर काम करता है. फिश जो अपना एक्सक्रीटा निकालती हैं, वो वेजिटेबल या दूसरे प्लांट को फीड किया जाता है, और उन प्लांट्स की जो रूट्स हैं वो बायोफिल्टर का काम करती है. मतलब फिश अपना एक्सक्रीटा तो नहीं लेगी ना, उसके लिए तो प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन उसने ले लिया प्लांट ने, और जो उसमें हार्मफुल मटेरियल था वो उसके पौधे के लिए यूजफुल हो गया, उसको खाद मिल गया, पौधे को खाद हो गया, वो तो निकल गया उससे, और फिर पानी फिर वापस फिश टैंक में चला गया, वो शुद्ध हो गया, तो फिश फिर खुश है, उसमें वो चलता है. तो इस तरह से ये एक दूसरे का मदद से चलता है, और ये सब कुछ है. इसमें टेक्नोलॉजिकल टर्म कुछ भी लगा सकते हैं कि आपको फिश टैंक से आपने फर्टिगेट कर दिया, बायोफिल्टर हो गया, बला बला, जो भी आप टेक्नोलॉजी लगा सकते हैं. लेकिन सिंपल टर्म में, लेमन टर्म्स में ये है कि जो फिश का एक्सक्रीटा निकलता है वो उसका पानी फिश टैंक को वापस कर देता है, जितना उसको इस्तेमाल करना होता है वो करता है. तो इन टेक्नोलॉजी में जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ इतना सिंपल नहीं है साहब. ये थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मामला है, और इसमें जो टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वॉल्व होती हैं वो यदि आप स्क्रीन पढ़ रहे हैं तो उनका जरूरत पड़ता है. ये है कंप्यूटराइज्ड एंड मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम. आप इसमें सेल फोन का भी जरूरत पड़ेंगे, लैपटॉप का भी जरूरत पड़ेगा, टैबलेट का भी जरूरत पड़ेगा. जरूरी नहीं है सभी का जरूरत पड़े, बस लेकिन जो जितने यहाँ लिस्ट के हैं इनमें से कुछ. बाकी तो हम बड़े ज्ञानी लोग हैं हिंदुस्तानी, अपना जिससे काम चल सकता है सिर्फ उतना ही करके निकाल लेते हैं, वही आपको अभी करना है. तो फूड ग्रोइंग एप्स अवेलेबल हैं, उनके आप मदद ले सकते हैं। रिमोट कंट्रोल सिस्टम है। मैं यहाँ दिल्ली में बैठा हूँ लेकिन खेती लद्दाख में करता हूँ। कैसे होता है? होता है, ठीक-ठीक होता है, बताऊँगा अभी आपको कैसे होता है। और आपके बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर हैं, वो इस्तेमाल होते हैं। आप ऑटोमेटिकली उसको ट्रैक कर सकते हैं और स्टैकिंग भी कर सकते हैं, फसलों की एक के ऊपर दूसरा भी, वो भी उसमें भी ऑटोमेशन है। और आपकी मूविंग बेल्ट जो आप इस्तेमाल भी करते हैं और टाल टावर्स आपने देख ही ली हैं। और जो प्रोग्राम के साथ जो लाइट है, लाइट ऐसे ही नहीं कि हमने स्विच ऑन कर दिया, ऑफ कर दिया, नहीं, वो प्रोग्राम्ड है। किस स्टेज पे प्लांट की ग्रोथ को कितनी लाइट, कौन-सी वेवलेंथ वाली, कितनी जो है ना, वो अच्छी रहेंगी, वो सब प्रोग्रामेबल से मतलब है। और ये खाली ये नहीं कि साहब बिजली नहीं तो आप नहीं कर सकते। आप रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेस ऑफ एनर्जी भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, जो सोलर से, सोलर पैनल से हमको लाइट मिलती है, विंड से मिलती है या जियोथर्मल से मिलती है, वो भी कर सकते हैं। जियोथर्मल का मतलब आप लाइट भी बना सकते हैं और दूसरे ठंडे मुल्क में, जहाँ पर टेम्परेचर माइनस में रहता है, जैसे लद्दाख वगैरह या और दूसरे हाई एल्टीट्यूड, वहाँ पर सीधे वार्म वाटर सर्कुलेट करके ग्रीन हाउस में वो भी हो सकते हैं। और यदि पानी आपने ठीक कर लिया, तो स्टीम के साथ-साथ आप अच्छा पानी भी दे सकते हैं। फिर इसके बाद आपका क्लोज़ लूप सिस्टम होता है और जो वेस्ट होता है उसका अनाएरोबिक वो डाइजेशन हो करके खाद वगैरह जो भी कुछ हो सकता है, आप उसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। जो हमारा न्यूट्रिएंट सिस्टम है उसका भी प्रोग्राम है, प्रोग्राम के मुताबिक चलता है। दूसरे इसमें क्लाइमेट कंट्रोल चलता है, उसमें हीटिंग भी होता है, वेंटिलेशन भी होता है, एयर कंडीशनिंग भी होता है, जिसको हम बोलते हैं एचवीएसी सिस्टम। तो ये इन सिस्टम से होता है। Uh, the HVAC system, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, they are used. Then water circulating and recycling system. This is very important. You know, we are using the water and it is continuously flowing. So that is being recycled. The plants take the nutrient, it goes again. Then we see the pH, you know, the pH क्या होता है, न्यूट्रिएंट की अवेलेबिलिटी के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है। यदि नहीं है तो ये आप किसी से पूछ लीजिएगा जो नहीं जानते हैं नेगेटिव लॉगरिथम ऑफ दिस एच एंड कंसंट्रेशन वगैरह। और पीएच का रोल बहुत ज़्यादा है। यदि पीएच ठीक नहीं है, जो कि 5 पॉइंट से 6.5 तक जनरली नॉर्मल माना जाता है, वो उतना होना चाहिए, नहीं तो न्यूट्रिएंट पौधे को नहीं मिलेंगे। और दूसरा है इलेक्ट्रिकल कंडक्टिविटी, इलेक्ट्रिकल कंडक्टिविटी और टीडीएस, टोटल डिसॉल्व सॉलिड, ये सब कुछ नापना पड़ता है। ये जो मैं आपको थोड़ा धर्म संकट में डाल रहा हूँ, दिस यू विल सी लेटर व्हेन आई विल सजेस्ट यू हाउ टू गो टू डू द वर्टिकल फार्मिंग। I will come to that. Now here I have promised in the beginning that I will show you the jugards or the way we can do it. So here there are certain innovation you see. Innovation to the extent that we are rich in bamboo production here, and certain part of the country, particularly northeast, they are rich in that bamboo. So from bamboo we can make uh, a vertical farming system or any other system, whatever we call that. Then what I was telling about this the vegetable tower. This tower sort of a thing, you can run the nutrient etc. into this, and wherever the openings are there, the crops comes up nicely. This is a beautiful one, and why I say beautiful, because it requires less space. You can have it anywhere. Whatever congested area you have got, little space you can have. One can have it in every house. I say this um, tower can be put everywhere, and it is not necessary to have the electricity. My personal experience, deliberately I am doing, I got in my house, I do it manually and seeing that reasonably well it is doing. So even if the light is not there, nothing to worry about. And don't worry about the electrical charges, etc. You can do it manually also. Only thing you have to practice, learn, perfect the system and use it. Then there is a, you see here one slides were there, the cabinet. That cabinet is highly sophisticated, automated. You can have it in the kitchen itself. You can grow the certain greens in the kitchen and enjoy it. That the sophisticated technology. I told you the container gardening. I told you the in kitchen you can have the cabinet. So all sort of range is there, and then you can have the multi-story or multi-floor farming also. You can allot single floor for a single crop, for two crop. That's what has been shown here. Different crop at different level one can have it. Then this is a scenario of a farm of one of my friend in Chennai. I visited his farm and took this picture. But what I want to emphasize here for you, the viewers, you see somewhere I have written the seedling. Down below in the bottom, if you can see in the picture, that seedling, how to raise the seedlings. If you raise the seedling in the soil and put in that system, it won't work. I repeat, if you raise the seedling in soil and put in the system, it won't work. My personal experience also, and I have consulted the people who are really on the job, they also are of the same opinion. But vice versa, perhaps is not there. You can have the seedling in hydroponic and put it in the soil. But the seedling, how to raise the seedling is an important one now. The seedling is not that it is soil or something or only water. You have got certain medium in which you put the seed here. If you are able to see this, there is a hole in it. This is a polyurethane see block or cube sort of thing. In the hole a seed is put, and then it is floated in the water and later on the nutrient medium, and you get the seedling out of it. That raising the seedling also is a technical one, and I think it requires one exclusive webinar on it. And after having the seedlings, you can have the crop like this. Here is the scenario of Gurugram, that Gurgaon, मेरे पास में ही है, मेरा फोटो भी आप देख रहे होंगे, जाता रहता हूँ. So वहाँ पर जाकर के थोड़ा मालूम भी करता हूँ कि इसका इकोनॉमिक फिजिबिलिटी कितना है. आप देखिए क्रॉप कितनी सुंदर है, कितनी अच्छी है, और राउंड द ईयर ये चलता है, और ये लोग अपना होटल में सप्लाई करते हैं. आजकल थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हुआ है क्योंकि होटल भी बंद, सब कुछ बंद, लेबर का आना जाना भी बंद. छोड़िए, वो कहानी अलग है. मैं आपको फिर से इसके इम्पोर्टेंस के बारे में फिर से वापस ले जाता हूँ. आप सीधे पूना चलिए, और in Pune you see the tissue culture lab, the multi-story. When you require tissue culture seedlings, say banana or some other crop, or in some other context, as I have told you, the monoclonal antibodies multiplication, you can have the multi-story one, and you have got in your country the Pune. So it's not that India is lagging behind. No, we are with the rest of the world, but not on a large scale as the others are. And you see the another farm, indoor farm in Bhopal. Next one you will see the farm in Surat. You see the hydroponic farm doing very well, and in that where the our COVID-19 is creating havoc in Mumbai. There also the disease free and everything free the produce is there. We can have in Mumbai. Then we have to move forward. The crops you see, the leafy green production. Different type of leafy vegetables can be produced. You see in a different system. One is a tower one, another is your gully system of that NFT is there. Those who understand the hydroponic or the these technologies. Otherwise, later on we can give the clarification. Let me tell you, those who are interested to put up the question, they can put it on the chat. I will try to answer whatever is possible if the time permits. Otherwise, I'll be too happy to reply you later on. You have to bear with me. Luck is not with me today. That is why I'm having some problem. Otherwise, I would have made you much more comfortable. Anyway, those who are interested in vertical farming of tomato, you see the jugaad sort of a thing have been shown. This is the Indian mind, and you see how in a different way we can have the tomato in a vertical system. And here you see the bigger picture. There the nutrient is going in the peat medium and down below, down below, and then pumped up, and in circulation it is going on. So this vertical farming is nothing new, but it is picking up now. That is why I have brought this slide, the mushroom. Mushroom we are growing since ages in vertical system. That was the purpose to bring this mushroom. The vertical system is there. The interesting slide is, I would request the viewers to just concentrate on that. You know, turmeric. Turmeric is taking care of the COVID-19 also to enhance the immunity and whatnot. I think large population is laying emphasis on that. But I'm bringing it to the vertical farming. Vertical farming of this turmeric is possible. As you can see, the structure also, the crop coming up, and I have not shown you the produce, but the produce is also of quality. The interesting thing what I want to emphasize, that the yield is multifold. And guy who is doing it, I don't believe, but he is reporting that it has got 1 acre equivalent to 100 acre. What we get from 1 acre or 100 acre, guy says that I got it in 1 acre. If half is true, what guy got in 1 acre and the other fellow gets in 50 acre, what a advantage! What a advantage! So why not switch on? Whatever expenditure is there, one can take the loan and start with, and it will be break even in some time. So that's what the potential of this vertical farming. The another side of this vertical farming is the microgreens. The microgreens are nothing but a stage in between the sprout and the seedling what we use for transplanting. And people say that rather it's the established fact, not the people say, it's the established fact that the nutritive value of these microgreens is much better than the mature vegetable or fruit, whatever the mature produce what we are consuming. They have got a vitamin C, A, E, and whatnot, blah blah. And you see them in even airports. I have seen it at Bangalore airport on sale. This one, and then you know India is rich in medicinal plant herbs. We are called herb people. So herb also in vertical farming can come up nicely. Say big business people are doing. I think Dabar is doing somewhere or somebody is doing somewhere. I'm not fully aware of, but some people who are dealing with herb, they are doing it. Then the fruit also, one can have the strawberry in a different way. It has a jugaad sort of a thing, but other the systematic method is also there in FT. It can be taken up, but why see we the vertical farming is important. I will show you one slide. Okay, okay. So why this important? I got an instance of 2017, the area Mahabaleshwaram, India's what I should say the main center of strawberry production. There, if you go in the season, you eat whatever your belly can afford. Nobody will ask you for the price. It is to that extent. But in 2017, the heavy rains created havoc, and the crop got rotten in the field itself. But if it have been in the vertical system, crop would have been saved, and it should have been in a much lesser area. If the area, whatever they are covering in that area, I think we can supply the rest of the world the strawberries from there. That potential, the vertical farming, according to me, is there. Then see the Japan. They are the leading one. They have got the world's first and largest automated vertical farm. The innovation at their farm around three themes. What are those themes? Reduced cost, limited environmental impact, and global adaptability. See, with a wider application, they have brought out this vertical farm. You can read it on Google. I think time constraint must be there. So I need not to go into detail. In the beginning, I told you the container farming. Here you see in Chicago, the freight farm, they call it, freight farm. They produce somewhere and take it somewhere. And it can be ferried in a different mode, different places. And everything is automated there. And whatever requirement is there of a particular crop. But let me see you frankly here, world over, vertical farming for fresh food mainly occupied by lettuce everywhere. And it is a success story for lettuce as far as vertical farming is concerned. So you must be seeing the lot many slides on lettuce, but it is perfected one. The another vertical farm, which you can call the farm for the future, you will see the farming like this, multi-story, and this is $2.7 million facility, including groundbreaking indoor vertical farm, allowing frames of farmers of the future to get their hands on new technology. Say new technology. I will come little later. That's a new one, and help shape the future of Australia's food supply chain. So most of the countries, those are progressive one. They are adopting it, and they see the future into it. That is why they are going Australia, Japan, US, and others. So they are there. I think I forgot to mention in the beginning somewhere because of that some problem which I am facing in the presentation. This Despommier at Columbia University, or University of Columbia, is known as the father of vertical farming. And this scientist, he says, whatever you produce on the farm can be produced in vertical form. And has given the model, which is in front of you in that. You think of a crop, including dairy, poultry, and whatnot. But everything is possible to have in a vertical fashion. This is a drawing sort of a thing or the computer modeling system. But according to him, with his rich experience, he has written books also on that vertical farming can take care. So whatever climate problems are there, or some other problems are there, even then we have got the technology to produce food. And this technology is not important on the Earth planet. Let me share with you, all these technologies will be useful for the space. When we human beings go to the space, definitely will need food. You can't transport food all through from the Earth planet. You have to produce the food there itself. So all these technologies will be handy. That is why lot many research in NASA and other places are going on. So it's a potential technology. Now the future, say research. Whatever topics I have covered here, we require extensive, intensive research on these. Very little research, particularly in India, only naam ke vaste. Whatever is there, that is in private sector. In public sector, very little. It is not to the extent it should have been. We have to work on these, what I have listed here: hydroponic, aeroponic, aquaponic, floating garden, poly sheets, structures. You have to have somewhere you require only the net. You need not to have the expensive thing. You need not to have the climate control greenhouses. You can manage with other things also, but wherever the climate control greenhouses are required, there also all sort of a research is necessary. Without research, you can't perfect it. Then the human element is important. What for we are working for the human being. So human resource, human will serve the human, is it not? So human is to be trained. Until unless human resource is developed, you can't yield the crop or the food. So there are different areas where the human resource are to be developed. Unfortunately, in our country, emphasis is not there on that. And all sort of fields are required: the horticulture, plant breeding, plant physiology, animal science for having the poultry and dairy and other things. And plant protection also, certain problems are there in plant protection. Even that pollination problem is there. So to overcome that, then climate control I have covered. The engineers have to play a great role in that. The structure and control of different parameters, that's an engineering job. They have to develop the appropriate designs. And side by side, the urban planners should think of creating a space wherever possible while developing the urban areas or some other areas. And most important one, which everybody is concerned about, is the economics. We have to work out economics of everything, not at the research stage, but ultimately when the technology goes to the user, at that time, it should be profitable to the user, because profitability is the ultimate. If it is not profitable, no, one can't just think of getting it automatically popularized. Then the consumer demand, we have to work on that. We have to teach the consumer that this food is better than the what you get, at least in terms of the healthy produce, free of pathogen or something uh, like that. Then a business model. The business research is very important. Business development. Without that, we can't proceed further. Now, I think the next one. So far, we were next slide. We were indoor only. Let me take you outdoor. Right? Outdoor, our jugaad business, the Indian conditions, what vertical farming we can do. Let us see. These slides speak of that seasonal crops are vegetables you can grow using those technologies in open, not under the structure. The structure is the costly one, and have the controls into that. They are also costly. But the way you are doing agriculture, you can do the agriculture on a small land and go vertically. This is vertical farming. In the outdoor, one can do it in a different way. I will show you some more slides. This is an interesting slide. I want you to concentrate on that. You see, our walls, whether it is a village, town, or city, the walls are empty. Space is available. We say space is not available, but I say space is available. You see the pear tree here. I call it a tree. Pear tree has been planted and it has not taken any space, extra space. It is along with the wall, and you have got enough crop. Beautiful size of the pear is there. Opposite to that, you see the fruit wall in UK. You can have different crops for that. See here, you can have grapes, you can have apple. Then vegetable, throughout I was talking about vegetables. So here you see the crops like kale, lettuce, and chard, and some other leafy vegetable of your choice. One can have it. A green wall, wherever the wall is available, little sunlight should be there, not that full sunlight. Some sunlight will give, and some shade-loving plants also, if the sunlight is not there, they will come up. So one can have this outside also. Then, interesting one, where the land is not available, lot of water. And that water in ponds, lakes, and whatnot. We have got huge lakes and in the country at different part of the country. The lake is there in Srinagar, in Manipur, we have got some other lake. Likewise, everywhere it is there. So there also you can have vegetable farming in a floating garden, but in floating, you need not to prepare a float, wider one where lot of material is required. No, little one you can have it and go vertical. Just prepare a structure on that, train the crop on that and harvest. So a simple way of the floating vertical garden. One can have the different crops. So the major components for this vertical farming, you can group them into three: the structure, the production system, and where the research, education, and training are required. The structure can be of different category. They are listed here, and they have the different component onto it, mechanization tools and accessories and whatnot. The irrigation system also will be there depending upon what system we are using, a production system we are using, and the medium of growth, whether you are using other than soil, the water medium, whatever is there. Then the research, education, and training are important for this. Then the crops which can be grown in this system, you must be wondering, okay, this guy is talking about this system for 1 hour and giving us the lettuce which we hardly consume. No, it's not like that. One can have the different crops. I tried to gather the crops being grown under vertical farming. The first one, microgreen, you know that, is picking up. And among the leafy vegetable lettuce, I told you, the world over, including India, it has been perfected and it is grown in the vertical farming. Then one can have the different crop, spinach, chard, chia, palak, mustard greens. And then you have n number of herbs in that, the fennel, thyme, oregano, basil. Italian basil, quite popular. In this country, also a lot of demand from the hotels. Then the medicinal and aromatic plant, I showed you the slides. And then the next one, please. Number of chamomile, very important herb, is listed here. Then among the fruit, I told you the strawberry, the fodder, all sort of a fodder, the oat, maize, barley, and others. I told you the oat. They say Ayurveda is doing all that. Then mushrooms. Then the other vegetable also. It's not that you must be wondering, but there are ways and means how we can grow them under vertical farming. The summer squash, pepper, eggplant, tomatoes, cucumber, onion, garlic. Even onion and garlic can be grown. Muskmelon and the algae for fuel. One can have it. Then ornamental one, which I have not touched deliberately because we are going to have another webinar. I think Indian Nurseryman Association will oblige you to have the webinar, next webinar on this vertical garden. And then tobacco. Tobacco is coming up, and monoclonal antibody farming, I think they are concentrating on that. Then vertical farming, we have got a National Academy of Agriculture Sciences. All top-notch agriculture scientists are made fellow of that. Fellowship means recognition of somebody's work. So there are thousands of fellows in agriculture. So there they had a brainstorming session on vertical farming. And after having a brainstorming session, they come out with a policy paper. So this brainstorming session, which luckily I had it, this in May 2019, and we have come up with the finding that the vertical farming offers sustainability, benefit for diminishing resources, and climate scenario. When technical things are there, they are worded in such a way that it conveys everything. Then success story of lettuce farming. It was highlighted. That's what I was talking about. And then this vertical farming offers a solution to food production where conventional methods would not work. See, if the soil is not good for farming, you can't grow a crop. But with vertical farming, you don't need the soil, you need the space. There's a difference between soil and space. So in a space you can have it, you need not to have the soil. So that's the big advantage. That's what I'm saying. And we emphasize that the basic research on this vertical farming is needed in a different compartment of vertical farming, or which is what the vertical farming is associated. At the same time, there should be a national policy on that. Until unless government policy support and whatever relations we have got with this system is not there, it won't progress the way it should. Vertical farming, which composed of so hydroponic, aeroponic, and aquaponic, is potential for local agriculture. I started with the local thing. What Honorable Prime Minister of India also talked about, and this is third level agriculture, greenhouse and traditional agriculture being the other two levels. So vertical farming is a third level agriculture. Now vertical farming ensures local sustainable fresh food production. This will be the necessity in pandemic like this, COVID-19. It will be very essential. We have to produce food locally. Otherwise, you know that without food, it is difficult to survive. For few days is okay, 1 or 2 months is okay, but for a longer period, no. Then undertake vertical farming after training on it to avoid failure. With folded hand, I request you all those who are interested in, please undergo the training, learn it first, then practice. Because it is technical and so many things are there. I have not told you even 1/100 of the things which is required in this vertical farming. So please undergo the training and then take it up. Wherever the trainings are available, they are available. Mostly in private sector, it is there. In some government sector also, it is going on. Agriculture universities, some of the agriculture universities, they are undertaking the training also. And there are starts up and whatnot for support undertaking the vertical farming. Then for the country, we have to establish the economic feasibility, and there is a lack of expertise. We don't have the experts because we have not taken it on that level that we would have taken it. And then for every business, every profession, we require regulation. They are also not there. So these are some of the limitations. That is your carry home point. But despite of limitations, above limitations which I talked about, the vertical farms are cropping up in the country. That is a good thing. So these 5 points, the takeaway points, I could think of out of this lecture. With this, I thank you profusely to bear with me. And if you have got some question, I will try to answer. First question, name plants for indoor and outdoor. If you recollect what I said, seasonal crops can be grown outdoor. There is no demarcation that this is outdoor, this is indoor. Seasonal crops do well, not as well as under that indoor, but they do well outdoor also. So there are a number of crops there, particularly during winter month. Lettuce can be grown inside, lettuce can be grown outside. Inside, the crop will be better because all parameters are controlled. Outdoor, the normal crop will be there. Then another question is list of ornamental plants for vertical farming. I think I showed you the slides, and in vertical farming you can have different crops also. I say even the rose you can have, even tulips you can have, the number of floriculture crop you can have, the foliage plants you can have. Even the cactus, succulents, you can multiply in this vertical farming. It is a question of just using the space in which the nurserymen are doing also. Some of the nurserymen are doing it. And you people, the nurserymen, are coming up with the vertical walls in a different way. Some are using the soil, some are using the soil-less medium, but getting popular. Not only popular with the household, but in the public places also, the metros, pillars, and all those sources. They are there. The next question is, how much does it cost to establish vertical farm? This question, I'm sorry, is a vague one. We have to decide what sort of a vertical farm, and the sophisticated vertical farm, not very sophisticated as I have shown you the Australia, Japan, and all that, but the average sophisticated farm should cost you around 3,000 rupees per meter or so. This is a rough estimate. I am not sure about it. Then, how to raise the seedlings? Interesting one. I showed you the raising the seedlings in this rock cool or polyurethane tubes, which I showed you. These can be thinner one also. Then this is a very big one. We can make 4 or 5 out of it, and put the seed in this and have the nutrient solution. First have only the water, first 2 days in the water, and then you can add the nutrient to it and raise the seedling. They will come happily. There is no problem in that. But in soil you can't raise it. These were some of the question. There are some more question also. I will try to answer them later. My mail ID, those who want to note, they can note. Brahma, BRAHMA, Brahma 8888 @gmail.com. You can shoot your question again, little trouble. I will be able to answer to the best of my capacity. With these words, I thank one and all to be with me around 355. Great number, I am lucky. Nice of you to give me time and listen to me. Hope next time I will do better than this what I have done. And I'm again thankful to my partners, Indian Nurserymen Association and the Society for Horticulture Research and Development, Uttarakhand, the Progressive Horticulture, my friend Dr. Dwivedi, and the Indian Nurserymen Association President Dr. Mr. YP Singh Ji, Greenway Nursery Honor, and the Indian Science, Indian Society of Vegetable Science, Professor K.V. Peter, person who has written many books, related a lot of literature. I'm thankful to each one of them and the team, my behind the screen, and those who are helping with these words with folded hand. I say namaskar, namaste, vanakkam, and jai.